Derrick Henry is not just a running back, he's a one-man stampede. Imagine trying to tackle a freight train that can stiff-arm you into next week. That's Henry in a nutshell. At 6'3" and 247 pounds, he's bigger than some linebackers and faster than most corners. But here's the kicker. This NFL superstar wasn't always the king of the gridiron. So how did a small-town kid from Yulee, Florida, become the NFL's ultimate wrecking ball? King Henry. What can we say about him that NFL defensive backs don't already know? Besides, he not only runs through you, he also runs by you. A lot of business decisions are made on Sunday afternoon when you're playing against the Ravens. In this video, we start with Henry's early days, his Florida high school and college days, and how he became King Henry with the Titans and Ravens. Stick around to the end to find out which NFL team despises lining up against this football monster the most. If Derrick Henry's life were a movie, the opening scene would be a quiet street in Yulee, Florida, with a young Henry running faster than a neighborhood rumor. Born on January 4, 1994, Derrick came into the world as the child of teenage parents. His mother, Stacy Veal, was 15, and his father, Derrick Henry Sr., was 16. His dad, known as Big D, was often absent during Henry's childhood, serving time for multiple offenses. That left his grandmother, Gladys, to step in as the steady hand in Derrick's life. Gladys was no nonsense. She made sure Derrick stayed focused on school, stayed out of trouble, and kept his feet planted firmly on the ground, even as he grew into a towering presence in his neighborhood. She even gave him his first nickname, Shaka, because his birth was a surprise that turned out to be the best thing that happened to their family. Yulee, a small town in Florida, wasn't exactly overflowing with opportunities. It's the kind of place where Friday night football games are the main event, and every kid dreams of making it big. Football wasn't just Derrick's favorite sport, it was his way out. He poured everything into it, using the field to escape the struggles of small-town life. As Derrick grew both in size and in talent, it became obvious he was something special. At this point, Yulee had no idea that their kid would go on to rewrite football history and embarrass NFL defenders on national television. Henry's football career officially began at Yulee High School, where he dominated the field and set new standards for excellence. From 2009 to 2012, he rushed for an all-time high school record of over 12,000 yards and 153 touchdowns, including an unprecedented 4,261 yards and 55 touchdowns in his senior season alone. If you need to, go ahead and run those numbers again. They're that insane. His senior year wasn't just dominant. It felt like something out of Madden on rookie mode. By that point, the groundwork for King Henry's legend was already being laid. At 6'3" and 240 pounds, he moved like a sprinter, but hit like a linebacker. On some plays, it looked like a varsity player running against middle schoolers. Opposing defenses didn't stand a chance. Scouts took notice, including a certain program out of Tuscaloosa, but more on Alabama later. He earned just about every accolade you can name. Max Prep's National Player of the Year, USA Today Offensive Player of the Year, Florida's Mr. Football. These weren't just trophies. They were milestones that turned him into one of the most highly recruited athletes in the country. For Yulee, Henry's success not only elevated the football program, but also brought national attention to the small town. His games drew massive crowds, and his record-breaking runs were the talk of Florida. Yulee High School became known as the home of King Henry, the kid who broke records with ease. By the time Henry wrapped up his high school career, college football powerhouses were practically begging for his commitment. With his Madden-like stats and a body that looked NFL-ready at 18, he was every recruiter's dream and every future college defender's nightmare. So when Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide came calling, Henry packed his bags for Tuscaloosa. Henry arrived in 2013, stepping into one of the most talent-packed programs in the country. His freshman year, he played sparingly, sitting behind guys like TJ Yeldon and Kenyon Drake. But don't let the quiet start fool you. By his sophomore year, it was clear Henry wasn't just in the mix. He was the mix. And then came 2015. With the backfield all his, Henry went full king mode. He racked up 2,219 rushing yards and 28 touchdowns, breaking the SEC single-season rushing record. Heisman voters? They didn't even blink. Henry became the first running back in 15 years to snag the trophy. But honestly, by mid-season, opposing teams were probably more concerned with when he'd declare for the draft. Let's face it, the NCAA can only handle so much punishment. Henry didn't just rack up stats. He powered Alabama to a national championship, adding another chapter to the Tide's dynasty. By the time he left for the NFL, college football was better for having him, and defenders were thrilled to see him go. The 2016 NFL Draft was loaded with talent, but somehow Derrick Henry, fresh off winning the Heisman Trophy and a national championship, found himself waiting until the second round to hear his name called. Sure, some teams thought his bruising old-school running style wouldn't translate to the modern NFL, but the Tennessee Titans weren't buying that narrative. With the 45th overall pick, they secured a crown jewel, and just like that, King Henry became a Titan. Henry's rookie year wasn't exactly one for the NFL Hall of Fame highlight reel. He started out as the backup to veteran DeMarco Murray and spent much of his time learning the ropes. But anyone paying attention could see flashes of the dominance that would soon define his career. By 2018, the Titans gave Henry the keys to the backfield. And he didn't just step up, he took over. In Week 14 of the 2018 season, Henry delivered one of the most iconic plays in NFL history, a 99-yard touchdown run against the Jaguars. He didn't just outrun defenders, he sent them flying with stiff arms that were equal parts physics lesson and humiliation. That run wasn't just a touchdown, it was an announcement. King Henry has arrived. The 2019 and 2020 seasons saw Henry ascend to the throne of NFL rushing. He led the league in rushing yards both years, including an unbelievable 2,027-yard season in 2020, making him just the 8th player in NFL history to surpass 2,000 yards. Along the way, he earned the nickname King Henry, and by that point, it had become his identity. But if there was one team that felt the full brunt of Henry's reign, it was the Houston Texans. Over 14 games, Henry racked up 1,437 rushing yards and 12 touchdowns against them. His most punishing performance came in Week 17 of the 2020 season, where he gashed the Texans for a career-high 250 yards and 2 touchdowns, surpassing the coveted 2,000-yard mark for the season. By the time Henry moved on, you can bet the Texans' defense breathed a collective sigh of relief. After years of carrying the Titans' offense, Derrick Henry shocked the NFL world in 2024 by signing with the Baltimore Ravens during free agency. It wasn't just a big move, it was a seismic shift. Pairing the King with Lamar Jackson and the Ravens' run-heavy offense, defenses around the league had to be sweating through their playbooks. Henry wasted no time making his presence felt. In Week 3, he bulldozed the Cowboys with 151 rushing yards on 25 carries and 2 touchdowns, leading the Ravens to a 28-25 victory. The following week, he torched Buffalo for 199 yards and a touchdown on 24 carries, including an 87-yard sprint that set a new franchise record for the longest run. His dominance continued in Week 6 against Washington, where he racked up 132 yards and 2 touchdowns on 24 carries, earning him AFC Offensive Player of the Week honors. For Baltimore, Henry's arrival wasn't just about regular season dominance. It was about ending a decade-long wait for a Super Bowl. The Ravens have flirted with greatness during Lamar Jackson's tenure, but Henry's ability to control the game and wear down defenses could be the missing piece. If Baltimore does hoist the Lombardi Trophy this season, you can bet the King will have played a big part in helping the Ravens reclaim the NFL throne. Derrick Henry's legacy is already cemented. He's a record-breaking high school phenom, a Heisman winner, and an NFL juggernaut. But the king isn't done yet. Now with the Ravens, Henry has his sights set on adding a Super Bowl ring to his resume. With over 10,000 career rushing yards and counting, the Hall of Fame conversation is heating up. Can he break more records? Absolutely. Will defenses keep dreading him? Without a doubt. The king's reign isn't over. It's just evolving. Can he be number 11 on this list? Check out our video on that right here. From a small-town kid in Yulee, Florida, to a high school legend, college champion, and NFL powerhouse, Derrick Henry's journey is nothing short of remarkable. The king has left his mark at every level of football, and now with the Ravens, his story is far from over. Whether it's chasing records, stiff-arming defenders, or leading Baltimore to glory, Henry continues to prove he's one of a kind. Here's to King Henry. Long may he reign.